witness that.
Hey! We're live now.
Yay!
Woo!
We are. I see that.
Yeah, I've been spamming social media for the last 9 minutes.
Oh my god.
Oh. We got...
The stream is starting.
I don't know if we got 3 people on or how many. There might be
I
a
think it
delay.
says.
Yeah, there's a little bit of a delay.
Yay!
Yay! Oh, and I immediately froze. And it's way behind.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's you have to stream with a little bit of a delay or it is wild.
Okay. That's
Gotcha.
distracting. I'm gonna have to close that one out.
Yeah,
Minimize
I had to
that.
mute it.
I just opened it on my phone but I've got the thing pulled up so we can chat. But to anybody that's in chat right now that is not us, how's it going? Feel free to say something in the chat so we can talk to you and answer questions and stuff as we go. Oh. But we can just let it go for a little bit until we get some people rolling in here, because I'm sure people are just now seeing our social medias and joining. But how's everybody doing?
Good.
Good. Did Josh just donate us $10?
What? Did he really?
What?
I don't even see that.
Where did you see that? Oh, I see it in the bottom.
Oh yeah.
Thanks, Josh.
Yeah, thanks,
Thank
man.
you.
Much appreciated. We got, it looks like, I think Tessa and, which Josh? Was it Josh Caudle or Josh Stevens? Got too many Joshes.
Just gonna blast them like that on the internet?
I mean, at some point there will be name drops and we just have to live with that. It's not like it's not like we're going, hey, here's their address, here's their social security number, and everything you need to SWAT and steal their identity. Oh man. But we got 5 people in here now. So I guess we can do like a little introduction about who we are. Hey, it's Tessa. What up, Tessa? We actually have quite a bit of stuff to talk about today. Obviously, with it being our first. Oh, Josh! It was Josh Caudle who donated. Thank you.
Oh, well, thank you.
You guys are the best.
Thank you.
So we have a lot to go over as far as that goes. I just need to make sure there's no feedback from anywhere. We got 6 people in here now. Man, we're...
Oh, man.
You know, hey, this is actually really good. I think the first time I ever streamed anything, it was like just me for the longest time.
Aw.
So alone. But yeah, we got a lot to go over today, so if we want, we can do an intro for everybody. How's the audio sounding on everybody's end? Can you guys hear everyone okay?
Yep.
We are recording the show and pause just to hang out with you. Oh, so we got everybody. We got the whole History Told by Idiot Squad.
Yay!
Oh, shit.
Shameless plug for our awesome friends over here who helped us with this past investigation. Tessa, Josh, and Tyrell have a podcast that's available, I believe, on Apple Music, Spotify, and wherever other podcast places there are, I'm pretty sure. They have a history podcast where they cover a bunch of crazy stuff, including spooky things, which their most recent spooky episode is actually a pretty good one, and their most recent episode is Things You Cannot Unknow, and that is a very spooky episode that contains a lot of things that I will now never unknow. Did you guys listen to that one, Chris and Haley?
Not yet.
No, I have
But
not.
planning
I
on
must
it.
admit.
We listened to it on the drive back, and or no, was it the drive back or when we were driving around town one day? I forget.
I think on our way back.
On our way back, it is there's some stuff in there.
God.
That's really cool, but really definitely memorable or scarring, depending on how you want to look at it.
Yeah.
But they do a great job. Definitely go check them out. They're awesome people. They were super gracious hosts and got us into both of these places. And who knows, maybe we'll go back to the little sleepy town of Whitesburg, Kentucky, and do some more investigations, including the courthouse.
Be awesome.
Would be awesome.
That would be amazing.
So shout out to them, and we'll start from left to right on my screen, starting with our buddy Chris over here. If everybody wants to just introduce themselves, and then I'll go last since I've been talking most of the time.
My name's Chris Plummer. Good intro.
Yeah.
Solid. Solid. So, Chris, would you consider yourself more of a believer or a skeptic?
Skeptic.
Skeptic Squad. The bottom half of the screen is Skeptic Squad. The top half of the screen is
Yeah.
Believer Squad.
Believer Squad.
Chris, what got you into the paranormal?
You did. When you have a loving fiance who's into the paranormal, you do tend to take an interest in what she's interested in.
Yeah.
I can dig that.
Okay. Well, hi, I'm Haley Grosskopf. I love paranormal stuff. I always have, and I always love haunted stuff. I've been to Waverly once before this, and then we all decided to get together and go again, and finally found a group of people that like to go to haunted places and research haunted stuff. So that's why I'm here.
Great to have both of you all to join us on this spooky little adventure that we have decided to, the rabbit hole in which we have thrown ourselves.
Yeah.
Deep into.
Right. The financial rabbit hole that is ghost hunting.
Right. What started as just like, oh, we all like spooky stuff, let's go to Waverly for Abby's birthday, has now become this is really cool, we should do this a lot.
Yeah.
We just like to hang out in abandoned buildings. It's nothing.
In the middle of the night.
Really just my
For a few
vibes.
hours.
Yeah.
Okay, Abby.
My name is Abby Adams.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
Legally, it still is. Legally, it is. I am Tom's wife. I've always been into the paranormal. Grew up in a household that a lot of strange things happened in, that I could never really explain, never had an explanation for. But at the same time, grew up with parents in the household who would brush these things off as like, you're young, it's your imagination, when I truly knew it wasn't that always. So always wanted to investigate those things more, and like Tom said, finally found awesome friends to do that with. So it all started with a birthday trip for me to Waverly and has went on from there.
Oh.
Yay.
So to sum that up, basically, Abby wants answers.
Yes.
Pretty much.
We want
I also
answers.
heard that this is all just a giant birthday gift to Abby.
Yes.
Happy
The ongoing
birthday.
birthday gift.
Yes.
That's how it definitely. I feel like that was a fun time. So I guess it would be me. So hi, I'm Tom, Thomas Robinson. Abby up here, like she said, is my lovely wife. I have been interested in the paranormal stuff for as long as I can remember. When you grow up with things like Ghost Adventures and Destination Truth and ghost adventure or ghost hunters being like super popular in the media, and you're a young impressionable kid that likes horror movies, you just kind of get sucked into it. So as wacky as those shows and people are, I've always been a little bit intrigued by it. I wouldn't consider myself a believer just because I've not had like first-hand accounts of anything, and I always take everything with a grain of salt when it comes to what people put on television. Abby hates watching Destination Fear with me for that exact reason.
Yep.
Because the whole time I'm just like, I don't know if that's real. Those people are crazy. But yeah, it's
What show? So what show were me and you watching, Haley, that we were just roasting?
Oh, the Discovery documentary about The Conjuring, the one that just came out, The Devil Made Me Do It case, where they're basically just the super Jesus Crusaders coming in to save the day.
The Jesus Crusaders. I feel like if we were religious, that would have been an excellent...
A perfect name.
Perfect name. But they also maybe have been taken by, like, I don't know, I guess the Crusades was, what, the 14th century? I don't know.
Yeah, we would have had to gone for the Avengers, I think.
Yeah.
Jesus Avengers.
Fair. But yeah, so we since we found each other and have enjoyed the paranormal stuff, we thought, hey, why not do this a lot? And so we've been going to places, which we have a few. Like they said, we have Waverly that one day we'll probably talk about. That was our first like actual one as a group, which is a fun time. And then we also have another one we'll eventually talk about, which is Post-Town Settlement School up in Ohio, which is another interesting time for sure. But yeah, let's go into where we were this past weekend, or not this past weekend, but 2 weeks ago. The sleepy little mountain town of Whitesburg, Kentucky, where Abby and I are from. We investigated the old Whitesburg water plant, as well as the Harry M. Cottle Memorial Library, which our friends Josh, Tessa, and Tyrell joined us at all those locations, and have had numerous paranormal experiences in both locations. So we thought, it's hometown, why not hit up some hometown haunts and check it out and see what's going on. We spent 2 nights there over the course. I almost fell in my chair. Over the course of Memorial Day weekend, we did like 8 hours of investigation, maybe something like that.
I would say so. Yeah.
Probably longer than that, actually.
Probably. It all blurs together when you're going through hours upon hours of audio.
Yeah. Yep.
But just to give you guys a brief rundown of the places we investigated, we'll start with the library because that's where we got a lot of stuff happened that night, both nights actually. But the library was originally a 5 and dime. It was called Hobbs 5 and Dime. Originally, it burnt down, and they rebuilt the building in the 70s. But in the 90s, they repurposed the building into what is now the Harry M. Cottle Memorial Public Library. They have a really large upstairs area, as well as a sublevel that contains a bunch of meeting rooms, event rooms where they host stuff for the kids, and they also have some people can rent out the spaces for parties and events and stuff like that. This place was weird, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
I would agree with that.
Yeah.
It's like, so there's a lot of evidence that you can find on YouTube from a couple of other teams that have investigated. But as far as personal experiences, the first paranormal experience I had there was we were playing board games one night downstairs, and Josh, Tessa, and Tyrell and I were playing, and me and Tyrell had to go use the restroom, and Tyrell had to grab something out of his office, or out of the office upstairs, and we went upstairs. This was like probably like 10 or 11 at night. We were playing Betrayal at House on the Hill of all things.
So fitting.
So
Very
fitting. It sounds made up at that point. But we went upstairs and we had helped close the. I mean, Josh and Tessa and everybody, we just helped them close everything up so we could start playing games faster. And we know there was no like books or anything on the floor, and we go up there, and there was a bunch of the books in the back corner of the area were just everywhere on the floor. And they're like, "Oh yeah, that happens a lot." So that's what originally inspired this little trip, was stuff like that, and other stories that had happened there. But what are you guys? What are your all's feelings about our investigation at the library?
I mean, I was pretty impressed with it overall, with the amount of things that we saw and the amount of things that we heard. I definitely do think it's haunted for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so it's just one of those places too, especially on the first night, that Chris and Tom, I think it was, noticed on the way back up, like the vibe of it completely changes from time to time, where you feel either very welcome to be there or you don't feel welcome at all. And it's something that you can really pick up on. So I really loved it. I think that was my favorite place that we went to out of the two.
Tessa, welcome, Josh Stevens.
Can confirm.
Tessa can confirm. Is definitely a haunted place.
Yeah, that time me and you were coming back upstairs, and we just walked in that room and was just like, oh no, shit, I gotta find a different way upstairs. Like,
yeah, no, and what's weird too is we can jump right into that too. So basically, most of our like actual investigation at the library took place in the kids' room, and the reason being is that place had not only did it have the overwhelming sense of like you need to get the hell out of here vibe that me and Chris experienced, but also a lot of our interactions with possible paranormal things happened in that area. And that's where there's also been like numerous accounts from both Tessa and Josh, and like they have video recordings and photo evidence of some things that happen in that area. So we focused a lot of our investigation there. In the kids' room, when we went the first few times, we set up equipment, we did spirit box sessions, we did EVPs, we did EMF and stuff like that, which EMF is wild in that room, because apparently most of the electrical in the building runs through there, which the skeptic in me kind of wants to attribute the fact that when we went in there by ourselves, some of that was just like made us feel uneasy, because sometimes that can have an effect on it. But when we walked through there,
that was the first time we went in there by ourselves too.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
and in that room is pitch black. There, no matter
that is
how
advanced
many
darkness.
lights, yeah, it definitely is the kind of darkness that stares back at you, like 110%.
It's darkness.
Advanced darkness. Josh said that it talked to him.
Oh my God.
Well, there's going to be a lot to possibly back that up as we go through this amount of evidence. But yeah, so Abby, what do you think about it?
The amount of EVP recordings we got is pretty crazy to me. And like just from the library alone, because I did not go to the water plant. So as far as evidence there, I've not even heard any of it. But for the library, the kids room definitely was very strange. I did not experience the darker feeling that you three did. But I didn't go back down. I talked to Tom about this on our way home. I only felt comfort in that room. like I felt super comfortable in there, but at the same time I did not go alone. Nor did I go with like either of you saying it feels different now, so I didn't have like that preset bias. Um, but yeah, I think we got some really cool stuff there. I really liked it. I would love to go back.
Yeah.
Um, for sure.
Maybe that's why we got that weird vibe. Tom, we didn't bring Abby with us.
Could be it. But yeah, I guess another thing we should probably talk about too. One of the there's a couple of spirits that they know they have seen or heard or have evidence of. One is a female spirit. One is a spirit of a young boy. And then the other one, they don't really know. They haven't figured it out. They think that it's male based on the photo. But that one they don't have a whole lot of information on. But the spirit of the young boy's name is supposed to be Christopher, which in some of these pieces of evidence we'll go through here in just a few moments. You'll hear us mention that name a lot, so that's what that is. So I guess we can start going through some of these clips. Let me pull them up.
Yeah, we're not actually talking to me.
No,
Yeah.
we're not talking to Chris. Different Christopher.
Yeah, no, this is Chris. Christopher is the spirit. So.
Clear up that right away. All right,
Yeah.
so what do we want to start with? Let's start with. God, there's a lot. We also have a photo, which Haley, do I just need to pull that up on Instagram, or did you see that? Or did you send it to the group?
I can send it to the group real quick. Give me just a second.
Yeah, if you want, if you could upload it to Google Drive, that'd be dope. If you can't do that, then that's no big deal.
Yeah, give me just a sec.
Cool. So we'll do audio, because there is the photo that we got, which is on our Instagram. Shameless plug. If you want to follow us over on Instagram, that'd be great. We post.
Real great.
we post a lot of our evidence. We also post like upcoming investigations and like where we are and stuff like that on there. And then I believe the link tree is here on the YouTube channel. So also feel free to subscribe if you're here, because we're going to be doing this every Sunday. I think, as barring unforeseen like scheduling conflicts, I think every Sunday at this time, so 7:30 Eastern Standard Time, is going to be like the time that we sit down to do this. So let's go with we'll start with the whispering. Let me pull this up.
Is that the one I sent?
Yeah, most of these, all the audio from the library is from URL's recorder.
Yeah, this one kind of creeped me out a little bit when I first heard it, because I thought Haley was in the room with me, whispering behind me, because that's kind of what it sounded like.
And this one, is that the whispering one? Or is it the main room one that was?
It should be called Whitesburg Library Whispering, is I think what I called it.
Okay, so we'll go with that. So I'll go ahead and play that, and I'll turn desktop audio up a little bit. Just a fair warning: a lot of the audio that we caught, some of it's going to be spirit box responses. Some of it is going to be like actual audio that you can hear. There's most of the time that we did a lot of spirit box sessions, so you're going to hear that. Most of this stuff is best listened to with headphones. If we have enough people request like actual like, hey, can you like share that with me, that kind of thing, depending on our the Ko-fi stuff that we have set up, which you can check us out over there too if you want to help support the channel and the team. But depending on how those reward tiers and stuff work over there, we could upload stuff over there if there's enough demand for people to actually have it, so they can sit down with like headphones and listen. Because obviously, listening to audio with headphones on versus listening through like a cell phone speaker is going to be two totally different experiences. But without further ado, here we go. So I'm not sure. Did you guys hear that at the end? It's only a 7-second clip, and I can play it again.
I didn't hear it.
I didn't hear anything at all.
There's a delay on the stream. Keep that in mind.
So it is a whisper right at the end.
Mm-hmm.
It is very
Okay.
prevalent.
Okay.
I think that was my issue, is that I had the stream muted and then had this.
Fair. I will play it again while. So.
I didn't hear anything at all.
There's some feedback coming from somewhere.
So it is a.
Oh. I'm hearing someone's stream in the background.
I am too.
Oh no! We got a loop. Audio loop. I will play it again. And I will pull it up here, and I believe. Boom. Oh, no, that's showing Chris. Okay. So I'll play it again. It's only 7 seconds. So it's just after the spirit box and just before. Stream, did you guys hear it? I just want to make sure that it's working stream side. Because it may not work.
No, I heard it.
Oh, okay, cool.
So yeah, that's a future thing we might have to look into. The delay is so prevalent.
We may just have to have the clips like in advance to know what we're listening to and just play it for the audience. But
yeah, that's true. Actually, we can probably do that right now because it's just a Google Drive, right?
Yeah, it's up on Google Drive. So Tessa, you definitely heard it. Yeah, no, it's like it's right after the spirit box like audio comes through, and then right before we start messing with the microphone. And
yeah,
that was Chris. Where did you say that was?
That was the very first recording, actually. So that was upstairs, not in the kids' room, but in the library itself. Yeah, that was hot off the presses. First recording, like a minute in, 1 minute of evidence, bam, whispering, right out the gate. And there is that almost sounds like it could be me whispering, but Haley was actually the one recording at that time. So it would have only picked up her whispering. And even then, that doesn't make a lot of sense for her to whisper. Because, I mean, we have a thing where if we move the EVP or if we make some noise, like we announce it so that we're not all confused while we're reviewing the audio. But that's not something we generally do in a whisper. That's something we say more just in a soft voice, kind of like this.
Yeah, I definitely know that we've gotten a lot better since just starting to do this with not whispering during our EVP sessions, specifically so whenever we go back and listen to it, we don't get that kind of like false positive. But yeah, that was a creepy one. I was not expecting that. And for those just joining us, I'll go ahead and play it one last time. And it's, like I said, it's just before, or it's just after the spirit box comes through and just before you can hear us fidgeting with the microphone. Wild. That's a wild one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let me pull it. Yeah.
So if you actually pull up this second one too, that is from the same recording.
Oh, I haven't heard this one, so that'll be interesting. Let me pull that one up. So this is also from that same spirit box session upstairs. So this one I'm gonna play on a loop, and I'll let it play a few times before I stop it, that because it's only 6 seconds, so people can check it out. So is that one just the actual spirit box audio?
Hold on. I'm bringing up the thing so I can refresh my own memory.
You're fine.
Oh no, sorry. It ordered these weirdly in the drive. I just realized. So the first recording is actually down on the bottom. It's the Whitesburg Library Whispering 1. And then there's Whitesburg Day 1 Whispering 2.
I didn't get that one. Let me find that one.
This one is 6 seconds. Yeah. So this one is 6 seconds. So I don't know. Maybe you were talking about the right thing. But there is whispering right at the start of it.
No.
Like right as soon as it goes.
Okay, so I just pulled that one, so we'll play that one again. But that one, the one we just played, was Spirit Box Response, which this was our first time messing around with the Spirit Box. It's, if you guys aren't familiar, it's the tool that a lot of paranormal teams use, that scans through radio frequencies. That supposedly, their theory is that spirits can utilize the white noise between those channels to come through and talk to us. So this is our first time using that, so that's a reason why a lot of this stuff is like during Spirit Box sessions, because we were really excited. We were super excited to use that thing.
What brand did we get, Tom?
Oh, you know what brand we got, boy. We got the SB7. The OG. But let me pull up the one you were referring to, because I'm bad and got the wrong one. So Day Whispering 2. So I'll do the same thing. I'll play this one on loop for a bit, just to give people some time to see if they can catch it.
Yeah, and you might want to turn up the volume on this one. It is a quiet whisper.
Okay, I will turn up desktop audio on the stream. So here we go. I'll change the sweep rate. 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 Okay then. Definitely heard that one too.
Yeah, it is right out the gate. Just
yeah, that's, I don't even, what does it say?
I have no idea. I can't understand any of the whispering. Yeah.
That's a crazy.
Oh man. Yeah.
Oh, and so heads up, so there's not any confusion. We're each independently reviewing the evidence we're going to review. Like this time, I reviewed audio between me and Haley, and she reviewed video. I haven't seen any of the videos. She heard the very first audio, and that was it. So this will be all new for all the audio will be new for whoever didn't actually review that.
Yeah.
Also, if you're watching and there's like a 15-minute delay between what we can hear with audio and video and then what's actually playing. So if we're standing here just like looking into space, that's why.
So Tessa, you think it says out there? I couldn't really make out a word, but or it's multiple words. It sounds like it's the tail end of that sentence from the first clip.
I think I do hear out there right at the start.
I'm gonna play it again, just oh yeah, it's out there is the first two words for sure. And yeah, another thing to clarify for you guys watching at home, a lot of this stuff most of us haven't heard either, because they'll use their Zoom recorder. I'll use our Zoom recorder, or Abby will use the one that we have, and we will each go over the audio that we recorded, so we can kind of compare and contrast and see if we get anything that one of them doesn't. So this is like the first time, like Abby said, this is the first time we've heard most of this audio, with the exception of one clip or two. Let's see, pull up the rest of them here. So then we got Spirit Box response. So this is during another Spirit Box session at the library. This is in the kids' room.
That is correct. This is in the kids' room. This is during one of our Spirit Box sessions. I saved this one because it gave us a pretty clear response. It was a short response, so I don't know how much stock I put into it, but it was like a direct answer to our question.
Tessa, we will absolutely send you some of this evidence that we got for sure. Because some of the audio, like we were saying earlier, is super compelling. The first two that we heard just now, specifically. She just texted and was like, "Hey, you guys gotta send me this when this is over." I'm like, "Okay." All right. Let's see. So this is that Spirit Box session. So we'll go and play that.
Spirit Box there to talk to us.
I apologize in advance to anyone that we have deafened with the sound of Spirit Box.
Yeah, the Spirit Box is loud in this one.
Yeah,
for sure.
Because this was with me and you, right? Directly next to, and like the recorder is like right on it.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, that is
is
correct.
We are learning, everybody. We're figuring this out one day at a time. I'm gonna move this over because I keep looking at two different things. There we go. But we'll play that again. So it does. I think. I mean, we said in the video, it either says here or hello, one of the two.
Yeah.
Spirit Box there to talk to us.
So, and you know what? Question for the people at home: do you? How do you guys? Can I do a poll? I don't think we have enough. You used to be able to do like a poll in streams, but I don't think I can do it. I don't think we have the viewership yet. But I'm curious to see like how much confidence people put into like Spirit Boxes and stuff like that, like traditional paranormal research equipment.
We can do one on our Instagram story.
Yeah, actually.
Yeah, that's a good. You guys know how to do that better than I can, so I'll let y'all do that.
Social media gurus.
Mm-hmm. Working on it now.
I'm real bad at it. Haley's our Instagram facade.
Yeah. If you see the
Did I say facade? What's up with me?
You did.
Yeah.
You'll notice there's two different styles of Instagram posts on the Spencer County Spooky Squad's page. One of them is like, here's a picture, here's a short blurb, done. Couple of hashtags, that's Tom. You see the one that's like all nice and spaced out, ... The hashtags are in their own separate section, and there's like a gajillion of them. That's Haley.
I'm bad at it. I'm sorry.
You've noticed I haven't posted anything to it.
You just let Haley handle it.
I send it to Haley. She'll post it for me.
Fair.
So the two pictures, by the way, those are posted in the drive.
In the drive, sweet.
Yeah.
We'll do those. That'll be the last thing because that is probably one of our best pieces. And then we already heard that Spirit Box, so we just got two more. We have the Spirit Box main room WP file and the Spirit Box response WP. So we'll go over those now.
Is there anybody in here with us?
Oh, the WP. I'm an idiot. That is water plant. Womp womp.
It is.
Well, see, See, I'm bad with that. So, that's on me. Whoopsie doodle. We'll come back to that one. Sorry guys, I done goofed. We'll pull up the videos though, because I've got those saved where we can.
Are they also in the drive?
No, I've got them here on the. I did the thing in Premiere.
Okay.
So let me pull up that. Give me a second. So this is this clip's a minute long. There's not a whole lot going on video wise, and I'll blow this up to where everybody can see it. Give me just a second. There's not a lot going on video wise, but as far as the audio is concerned, that's the main thing to listen for. Actually, I'll just do that then. I'll just do the audio because the video is being wonky. But this is during another one of our Spirit Box sessions. This one has a Spirit Box response in it, as well as a very clear, interesting thing you'll hear at the end of it. That, as I was making this thing, kind of gave me the heebie-jeebies because it's responding to me. Yeah. Okay. So we'll go ahead and play that.
Christopher, if you're down here with us, if you don't mind making yourself known, we've got a lot of different ways you can show yourself. You can move one of these balls around. I've got a recorder here that you can speak into. We can hear your voice. You can use Thomas's spirit box there to talk to us. Is it here? Yep. Right here.
Yeah, you can talk into this little box right here or near it.
Okay.
Yeah. That whenever I was
All
going
right.
through that video, I was like, what was that? Yeah. Stop.
So that was, I don't know if you realize that was the beginning, or the beginning of that was the audio clip we also just listened to.
Oh.
That was that same clip.
Yeah.
That stop was not in the audio.
Oh my god.
Yeah, the stop was not in the audio. I would have also clipped that. We would have just had a spoiler.
Oh man. No.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm. Nope.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is.
Yeah.
I'll just play the audio here, and we'll go from there. So.
Yep, right here. Yeah, you can talk into this little box right here, or near it.
I don't like that.
No.
Because it's exactly what it sounds like to you, Haley. It's just stop.
Yeah. That's why I was so sad when it wasn't going to load.
Oh, that's a good one.
Um,
Chat, did everybody hear that okay? And feel free to talk to us in the chat too, because we are flying by the seat of our pants. This is the first time I've actually done like a live stream of something like this. So I mean, I'm used to just streaming miniature painting where it's just a camera and one audio source. So it looks like Tessa heard it big time.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
yeah.
Yeah, that is. Oof.
That one really freaked me out.
You know what's funny?
That was the thing.
Oh, you go ahead.
I would say that was the thing too with like the video. I don't really like, other than the picture, I didn't see anything on my video end at least. But it was mostly just like audio stuff that other things didn't pick up, so that was kind of interesting.
For sure, very clear. Yeah, it's wild because there is we haven't figured out how to rig a shotgun mic to that camera yet, so it's just the camera audio picking that up.
Yeah. I think it's wild that the EVP, which was in the room recording, clearly because I had the other clip that was the start of it, did not pick that up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Abby, what are your thoughts? You're being real quiet over there.
I have no idea.
Did you hear it?
Like, yeah, I heard it on the recording, but like did not hear that in person. Like going through my gimbal footage, that was in none of my videos. I have no idea. That's the first time I'd heard it. Listening to it here, so I think it's awesome.
Definitely interesting. And you know what I was gonna say is what's really funny is that was the same exact night that you and I got that weird vibe.
It was, yeah.
And when we first did this, if I recall, it was me, you, I think Josh was in the room with us, Coddle. Tessa may have been in there, but with me and you being in there and it talking after I talk, almost as if I'm annoying it. And then we come back, and that night when we're picking up our equipment and stuff, and we go in that room, and it's just like, ooh, no, I'm not. We'll go the other way. Those two things on top of each other are just really weird.
Yeah, very weird.
And then the other one that we got is this is another short video clip. This one is during a Spirit Box session. And these two videos I will probably upload to the YouTube channel just so people can listen to it and have it at a later date.
Good idea.
Because I made a nice little video for it anyway, so why not? But
then they don't have to review the whole stream, though. They're welcome to get that little clip.
Mm-hmm. And once again, if you guys want to stay informed on when we have videos and stuff uploaded to the channel, there's a little bell notification, and allegedly the YouTube algorithm hates people. So click that bell notification so you can stay up to date on what we're doing, because we got a lot of stuff that we got a lot of places we want to go, a lot of places we've been already, and a lot of places that we are going this year. So definitely subscribe there, and you can see our little cute animation that comes up whenever people subscribe, and I haven't seen that today, and I really want to see it. So yeah, definitely do that. But here is that video clip. We're back again to try and talk with you, or any other folks you want to talk with us tonight. If you do want to talk with us, we have a couple of devices here that you can use to communicate with. We have a little device over here on the floor with a little red dot on it, and another one over on the other side of the room. And if you talk near one of those, or if you want to answer any questions that we ask, then feel free to just try and be as loud as you can. We also have this little device here that should give you a chance to answer some questions for us as well, like you were doing last night. There are a couple of balls in here as well. We've got one on the floor, and we have one in the chair. Listen. Hi.
Say hi.
Say hi.
Hello, who's here with us? That's what I heard too.
Can you tell us your name?
So a few different responses on the old spirit box there.
I feel like it sounds like it says me.
Yeah, there's a few responses in there for various questions. I definitely think it says hi or hello there at the start when we ask it. Which, to give you guys a little bit of a background with the spirit box, basically it will scan through various radio frequencies, and we had it scanning at a rate of 100 ms, which is it'll switch radio frequencies every 100 milliseconds. So it's just going like super quick through radio stations. So whenever you get, sometimes with one word responses, it's a little hard to justify, like, is that an actual response or is it something coming through? But if it's like multiple sentences, then or multiple words in a sentence, then it's a little bit harder to say, okay, why does this have the same tone of voice, the same, like, the pitch and everything is the same, and it's over multiple radio stations. So definitely interesting. I really like using the spirit box. I still think we need to figure out, like, some, not necessarily settings, but like mostly volume related stuff. But once we get that squared away, I'm extremely excited to use that at multiple locations. I think that's going to be a fun one. But before we, and that's the last piece before we go to the coup d'etat of, not coup d'etat, but the piece de resistance. Lord, I'm the worst at sayings today.
You're struggling. That's what you're doing.
This is what happens when I talk a lot.
Okay.
Abby can vouch. Whenever I talk a lot, I just jumble words a lot. Let me put this in. I love the fact.
Thanks for stopping in, Tessa.
Thank you for joining.
Yeah, for sure. Appreciate it. Thanks for the donation as well, guys. Y'all were a blast.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We're excited to listen to that episode. I'm looking forward to a new one. Let me pull up the picture so everyone can see. And there's going to be 4 photos. 2 of them are like edited so you can kind of see what it is. And then the other ones are just to see if you can spot where do you see. Okay, Emmett. Let's pull. Okay, so they're all downloaded, so I'll pull those up. So we'll go through the first 2. So
we haven't. Go ahead.
Oh, I just pulled up the photo. But what were you gonna say?
I was gonna say, what we haven't had a chance to talk about since while you're doing that is the dowsing rods.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. We can go for it if you wanna talk about that, or we can do that after we get this last piece here.
Let's do the last piece there, so we go ahead and wrap that up.
Okay. So this is the it's over on our Instagram as well, so you may have already seen the photo, but just take a look, and in the chat if you want, just tell us what you see. And then I'll go over to the other one and open it up.
It's not having a good time right now.
And then here is the actual thing. So right over here, as you can clearly see, and there's 2 photos that the head of this figure here actually moves a little bit. So let me zoom in. We'll move it to where you can kind of see. So it looks like you got white tennis shoes here, white socks, some legs, and then you have the white t-shirt and then the head. And when you look at it a little bit, it kind of looks exactly like like the description of like Christopher, which is really weird that we got that in the room where he supposedly hangs out a lot.
I was just gonna say, it looks like a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And with where that picture was taken to, there wouldn't have been like that wouldn't have been anyone's reflection there. There was like light shining in through the doorway from the hallway, but there's nothing that would have reflected back on. So that's what really was cool about it, I thought. So I was excited to get that.
It's definitely a very intriguing piece to kind of cap off our library investigation. But while we were at the library doing some investigating, one of our team members actually got to learn how to use some dowsing rods.
2 of our team members, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, both of you guys used it. That's true.
One of us was really good at it.
Well, one of us, Christopher, really liked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which there's probably if that whole session, if dowsing rods and stuff work, then yeah, I think it has partially to do with your profession, Abby, for sure.
Yeah.
But I'll let you 2 talk about your dowsing rod experience with Christopher.
You want to go first?
I will go first since my experience was far shorter.
Okay.
Like I don't know about you, but like when I finally got it like level, how Tessa was saying it was supposed to be, it was weird. It felt weird when they moved the dowsing rods.
It was freaky.
Yeah. It was it. It felt like it almost felt like something was pulling them. Like she said a good descriptor there, which I'm going to shamelessly steal. It felt like when you're fishing and you've got a fish on the line, like that tug. That's what it felt like.
Yeah. I agree with that. Like Tom and I was always super skeptical about dowsing rods because you fully have to trust the person holding them that they are not tampering with that, with them moving just to get a response. Um, but I decided to try it because I knew if I could get them steady enough to stay still, I could trust myself not to move them. Um, and I got a lot of responses with that.
A lot of
Like
different responses too.
yeah. Um, and I wanted to make sure that it wasn't just swinging one way because of like the angle I was holding it at. So if I got a yes response to something, I would immediately ask the opposing question to the answer that was just given, and it would always swing the opposite way to give me a no response. So, like, that kind of furthers my um like thought basis on those, that maybe there is some proof behind them to be used for paranormal research. Um but like Tom said, I think my profession um had a lot to do with how many responses I got because I am a preschool teacher. Um, so I went into it with the assumption that the spirit with us, Christopher, was a child. And I got like 30 minutes worth of responses from that one session talking to him. Um, that was that was probably the crazy experience out of over the 2 nights that we were there for me, was like how responsive it was. It was intelligent responses. Um, Considering, like I said, if I got a yes response to a question, I would ask an opposing question and it would answer intelligibly to the first response it gave. So yeah, I really like them. I think I'm gonna purchase some. I think I'm gonna do that. So yeah,
Do it.
I thought it was really cool. Do you like, based for you all, based on my experience with them, do you have any more faith in them than what you did going into the situation?
I mean, I think so, especially whenever, because I did them for a few minutes too, and just to get, because kind of at first you're like, maybe it's my hands and like maybe it's me kind of doing it. But to get the opposing responses and then to get the responses that were directional to, because we did have, for people that were there, we had there's a red ball and a pink ball, and then chairs, and then we would have them like, we'd be way over here, we'd have it point to the ball, we would have it point to people, like it pointed to Chris at one point, you had it point, they pointed to you, and then you had it point to some things too. So I think that really kind of made me believe in them more, because I was a little skeptical going into it too. But I think they were cool. I'd like to use them again.
Yeah, I thought before this whole thing, I thought dowsing rods were utter bunk. Snake oil type. But maybe they're not.
Maybe.
Stay in your little skeptic square.
Hey, this is my skeptic square.
Hey, I feel like that's a big move for me from going saying that's like snake oil trash
that is fair.
to
That is fair.
maybe it's not snake oil trash.
Yeah.
I think that I will need a lot more events like that to happen in order for
That's
me
fair.
to have any more. Like, do I trust you? And so that's the big thing that, like you said, it involves a lot of the trust in the person using it.
Jesus.
And I'm not saying, like, I can understand being hesitant about it. Oh, it's Max. It's a Maxie boy, spooky dog.
The Beans made his entrance.
He gave up on me and went to Chris.
He's like, I know I can get on camera if I do this.
Yep.
You just wanted some screen time.
Yeah.
We have we each, so Abby and I have 2 dogs, and Chris and Haley have 1 dog. And in order for us to feel really good about ourselves as dog parents, we really wanted to buy them Spooky Squad bandanas. But in order for that to happen, we need your help on Ko-fi.
Wouldn't you want to see this sweet boy in a Spooky Squad bandana? Look at that face.
Yep.
Look at that face.
Listen, the purchase is either Spooky Squad bandanas for our dogs or Jessica Alba's The Eye t-shirts for everyone.
For the whole group.
All right, bud, you gotta go down now.
We had 15 people in here at one point just now.
Oh my gosh.
Max came on screen and we had 15 people.
We know it gets
Wait, come
people
back
going.
Come back, guys.
But I definitely, back to dowsing rods, I definitely think that, like I said, and like everybody I think agrees, is you have to have trust in the person in order to actually, like, I don't think I would ever consider that concrete paranormal evidence by any means, even if, like, we had numerous events of where it either worked or didn't work, just because there's not really any way to prove and or disprove. It's just a neat little thing.
There's so many variables in something like that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's kind of like the app that we've kind of just used as a guide. I wouldn't even say a guide, like a conversation starter, right?
Yeah.
And so I think they're really good for that. But I don't know if I can rely on them for, like, hardcore evidence or anything like that. But yeah, dowsing rods are cool. I'm glad you got to experience it, because that's something that I've always, like, seen done, but never actually got to, like, be in a room while it happened. So that I will say it was a cool experience.
Cool. I'm glad that, like, Tessa was there and, like, knew how to use them and told us how to use them. Because if I had, like, bought a pair on my own and tried to do that, I don't think it would have been very affected by my hand movements or the way I was holding them. That's
why I didn't touch it, because I got shaky hands. I don't trust myself. So now I guess is a good segue. So overall, now that we've reviewed all of our evidence, how do we feel about the Harry M. Caldwell Library? So we'll go from back how we did earlier, from Chris to Haley to Abby and back to me. Haunted or not haunted?
If ghosts exist, it's haunted.
Okay.
Okay.
I think it's haunted.
It's haunted.
Yeah.
If ghosts exist, it's haunted. Like,
okay. See, we got a good balance. We have 2 skeptics who, like, want proof but are still skeptical enough about stuff, and then we have just, like, 2 believers. Like, we also want to see proof, but, like, we believe that this is real.
Yep.
So
perfectly balanced, as all things should be. Like this pineapple bottle opener, perfectly balanced.
Oh my gosh.
But now we'll jump over into the water plant, which the water plant, we only have a little bit of evidence from. I will, let me hop in the Google Drive real quick, and I'm going to upload some photos to show you guys, because I am more interested to talk about how in the hell someone thought it was a good idea to put a haunted house on in this building.
Yeah, I don't understand that. There is no way, like, anybody, like, because you have to insure a haunted house, right?
Yeah.
So like, if somebody gets hurt, you're covered. Well, okay, yeah, you're supposed to. But if they did, no, there's no way that anybody like did an inspection and like,
Oh God.
oh yeah, we'll cover that. Yeah, no problem. That didn't happen.
Yeah. Well, I mean, because the very top floor is like partially collapsed. The second floor isn't bad, but there's like pieces where there's just floor missing. But most of it's kind of back behind other barriers. And then on the first floor, there are boards over just giant holes in the floor.
I go down deep.
Yeah, that drop. I mean, from the top of the water, it looks like from where we were, at least looks like 15 feet. So there's no telling how deep the tanks actually are. And they still have water in them, and the holes were like person sized, so there's no way to crawl up. Yeah.
Until because I didn't go to the water plant, so on our way home, Tom was like telling me about it, and he was like, there's just like holes in the main first floor down into the tanks, and I was like, down into the tanks? What do you mean? And he was like, the water tanks for the water plant are under the building, and the floor has fallen through into the tanks.
Yeah.
They're covered.
You shouldn't have let Tom win. He's too clumsy.
No,
covered by plywood.
I mean, no, you're right. I was getting that. They're just covered by plywood. It's true. But
so there is only 2 holes, and we kept Tom
away.
Mostly away. Hey, we got a subscriber.
Oh, snap.
I saw the animation.
Oh, man.
I have not seen it come through yet. That's awesome. Well, welcome. Thank you.
Thank you, Amber, for subscribing.
Amber, thank you.
Yes, thank you.
And thank you. Yes, the graphics have been greatly improved from the last time, Amber. That is all thanks to Tom.
What? I missed that.
She sent a message saying that the big impressed by the graphics level on that live stream video, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Or to be honest, I should say.
Yeah.
Thanks. I'm glad that it looks cool. I love the layout. It's dope. But I avoided the rooms that had a majority of the holes. Thank you very much. I did that on my own accord. And because I did that, I got the only EVP from the entire building. From us, anyway. Chris and Haley have 2 pieces. I think they're spirit box responses, though.
No, we didn't get shit from the
water plant.
Because I specifically, I was recording with the EVP when you had those whispers in your ear. Because that happened to you twice, right?
Yes.
Yeah, because I could hear in the recording where you reacted to it. And you're like, something just whispered in my ear, blah, blah, blah. And I stopped the recording, rewound, re-listened, nothing.
But that was, I think, a big reason from that, too, is the direction that me and Tyrell heard the whispering was in the room to the right of us. And you guys, we didn't go in there because we big boys. We ain't going in a room with a bunch of holes.
No.
So you guys were in the electrical room where all the holes and stuff were in. But yeah, I'm excited to play that one because it is not exciting evidence at all. It's exciting for me because I am not crazy. That's about it. It is pure justification that I was not insane.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
But let me pull up the history of the building, and I'll do a brief little rundown of that, and then we'll cap it off with the rest of the evidence that we got. So the old Whitesburg water plant, it was built in the 60s. The only recorded death at this location is of a homeless man. People have heard screams from the old treatment wells. They also have heard disembodied voices, and even laughter, which is an interesting one because Tessa and Josh have an audio clip of a clear person laughing over their EVP session, which is interesting. They also usually tend to feel like a not so easy presence when they're in the building, which is, I didn't get that vibe when we were there. personally, the only vibe that I got was of my physical safety, because of the building being in such rough condition.
I was gonna say that, like, I did get like that uneasy feeling, but I'm pretty sure that was mostly because I was worried the building would cave in on us.
I was worried about that and just like random people being in the building,
Mm-hmm.
like living there. That really freaked me out. But otherwise, it was, yeah,
Yeah,
it was what it was.
Let me go ahead. I'm going to download these images real quick because I uploaded a bunch of them to the Google Drive. Oh, it's going to zip them. It's no big deal. Just cancel. But this is the building, just to give you guys an idea of what it looks like.
It's very inviting.
Yeah. I guess Brimstone is what the haunted house was called while it was there.
Yeah, Brimstone is the haunted house. So, a fun fact about this building, and why I mentioned it earlier, is the water plant was abandoned sometime between 1995 and 1996, and it's been vacant ever since. A couple years back, a couple did not get permission from the city, but had a haunted house in the location. So most of the wooden structures that you'll see throughout the building, with the exception of the roof and things of that nature, because most of the building is concrete, just being a water plant in general, but most of the wooden structures you'll see were built for the haunted house specifically, and it was called Brimstone. Well, when you went in, you had to sign a waiver, but it was not legally binding because they had no approval to use the building at all.
Didn't realize they didn't have any approval.
They did not have approval from the city, and you had to get a permit from the city to be able to use this building because it is considered still a government institution.
Damn.
Guess they're waiting to reuse that, huh?
I guess so.
Valuable property.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
before, like, this is the main room. That little structure, that little side stage structure over there, the stairs and the walkway are actually all built from the haunted house. It's really weird because all of the dark stuff you see down here, that's all standing water. The water tanks are below this structure, but this is all just standing water that's been there for, I mean, it's
years.
Years. It's definitely a cesspool.
Yeah.
And the water tanks below aren't like full all the way up.
Right.
No.
Let's see. That was just the same thing with the UV light. Those are the wooden structures I was talking about. This staircase goes down and then goes around. It has like a little, almost like a little boardwalk area that you walk on. And then like this is the condition of the building. It's not good shape. I didn't take a whole lot of pictures. I mean, I did on my camera, but that's a really bad one. It's very deep fried. I apologize for the quality, but that was with flash on. But as you can see, it is just unsafe. I have no idea why anyone would ever consider this okay to put a haunted house in.
Don't either.
It's super short because they didn't use the upstairs at all. So like, it just kind of seems.
Oh, that's like tiny. Yeah.
Yeah, it just seems like a waste of time.
Yeah.
Or at least I don't think they used the upstairs because there were no wooden structures upstairs.
There wasn't. No. Well, how many haunted houses do you think there are in Whitesburg every Halloween?
I would say there's a lot more than you would think.
Is there?
Yeah. A couple of the fire departments put some on. Most
Tom's
of
family used to do one.
We did. We did when we had raging Halloween parties when I was a kid. My parents were great. They knew I was into horror movies and spooky shit, and they're like, "Let's have a Halloween party." It was great.
Kind of sounds like they just wanted an excuse to party.
Well, no, they invited all of my like school friends and stuff came, and we had like 50 kids there every year, basically, if not more.
Oh my God.
And we did the first year we did like a scavenger hunt in our bottom area, like in the lower end of the yard, because we were like really little. And then we migrated and did a haunted house in the basement of my grandparents' house. And their basement is huge. You know that brick building that's over there next to where you all parked? The basement of the big brick building is where we did that, and we had all kinds of props and everything. That's where we got most of the Halloween decorations that are here now. Is because it's from the old Halloween parties.
Oh my god.
Let's see what else. Oh, and then the last 2 years, we did a haunted hayride, and we took people down the old abandoned railroad tracks and did that.
Nice.
And that was fun. It was a fun time. But as far as haunted houses in Whitesburg go, there's probably, what, Abby? I would say 5? Spread out across the county.
Because most of the, like you said, most of the fire stations, fire and rescue stations have their own.
And
but
there's a lot that happens across the mountain where you guys stayed over in Wise and stuff too. Mountain Empire College does one every year up in the woods near their campus and stuff like that.
Which, back to my original point though, I guess that means I was thinking like, oh, there's not a lot of haunted houses in here, and that's why they did it. But that raises even bigger questions: is why
even have one that small and unsafe?
That small and that bad of a location.
It's crazy. I feel really sorry. I don't know if anyone got hurt, but I cannot see how nobody did.
Yeah.
But yeah, while we were there, we got a lot of spirit box activity. There's a few spirit box responses on here that will play in audio clips. A lot of times we got Get Out a few times. We had the same male voice come through a handful of times, which was interesting. But as far as anything like super personal that happened, other than the whispering, I think it was pretty tame. But we'll go ahead and play those audio clips here so you guys can hear them. So we've got 2 spirit box responses, and then we'll go back and do the whispering one. Is there anybody in here with us? No, Ryan. Do you want to try and talk to us? Maybe. You should be able to use the noise from this to come through. Yeah. You're cool too. Yes. That was really cool. Did you work here? So yeah, got a few responses there.
Yeah.
And I think the other one is the same. Sign that you're here with us. Oh yeah, so this one's a bit louder. So I'm gonna turn that down a bit. But this is a clear response. This one's an 8-second clip. Sign that you're here with us by the turning on that. There you go.
Very good.
Thank you. So I apologize for how loud that was. But that was, and if you go back and watch our live stream on Instagram, that is when we had the flashlight turn on, which is on video, which is really cool. and that the voice comes through at the same exact time that we see the flashlight turn on, which is interesting. I would think. I don't know if there's anything to it, but it is compelling, for sure.
Good.
What do you think about that, Chris? How do you feel about the flashlight and the audio happening right at the same time?
So I don't actually remember that what it said, but my problem with the spirit boxes, we got a bunch of responses, but they were all very short, 1 or 2 syllables. Which we had the setting on really high. It was flipping through channels very quickly. But it's easy to get 2 syllables next to each other to make a word like hello. And like the human brain just puts those 2 sounds together and goes, oh, it said hello, when in fact it was just 2 totally random sounds next to each other. So the spirit box always just makes me sort of the light turning off, that was one of the twist lights we did, right?
That was the twist light that Tessa and Josh had, so it was like a bigger one.
Which is cool, but again, I sort of view that one too, not without like intelligent responses. Like, can you turn the flashlight off? And it turns off. Okay, can you turn it back on? Turns back on. If are you haunting this water house? Turn it off for yes, or whatever, without like intelligent responses. It feels like circumstantial evidence at best.
See, I think it's funny that you mentioned that. When we were doing that whole like turning the flashlight on and off and telling it to, when we had it come on, I was in the process of saying you can even use this flashlight, and then it comes on. So it's like, I agree. It's like it's so close to being like, that's kind of really cool, but also like, is it just weird timing?
Mm-hmm.
It is very interesting.
Yeah.
I agree. I think that's probably the bucket I toss it into.
Yeah.
And then before we go,
Now, if you had went on to ask further questions and tried to get intelligent responses through the flashlight, and it would have kept that same track record, would you have the same skepticism about it?
Probably not. But it would take. No. If we got continued intelligent responses, fairly promptly, because that's the other thing too. Sometimes those responses take 2 minutes.
Yeah.
And I was just like, was it just going to turn off no matter what we do, if we said anything or not?
Mm-hmm.
But if it had done that, yeah, no, I'd have a less skeptical take on it. But I don't know that I've ever seen those flashlights
Be able to
do that. Yeah,
they're
still very cool.
Oh yeah,
I love doing it, but
I think that's part of all this too. Like, spirit box is really cool, but what do we know about it, right? EMF, it's really cool, but at least that one's a little more grounded. Which we did have a few weird EMF spikes there. Just like
we did,
because
that building had no power. It should not have had EMF. It had been long abandoned. Like, realistically, it should not have had any EMF readings in a big concrete empty building, but it did.
Which is interesting, for sure. But we'll do this last little bit of evidence that we got there. And then, so this is when everyone, except for me and Tyrell, were in the electrical room upstairs. And me and Tyrell were in the hallway, and like I said earlier, I don't trust myself going into a building that has holes in it and not fall through it, for obvious reasons. So I stayed outside. Well, in the room next to us on our right, you can't go in that room because it's the basically it's fallen in on itself in the stairwell. So the only way you could go is if you climbed over like concrete rubble. So we were standing out in the hallway, and we were getting ready to do a spirit box session, and they were just talking and doing like EVP session in the room to the left, and I could have swore that and I heard somebody whispering towards us from the room to the right, but upstairs, which Josh and Tessa explained that there's a room up there that you can't get to anymore. And I was like, oh, that's really strange. But I heard it whispering. It took me a while to go through evidence to find it. It's here. I will give you another warning. There is a lot of static. You can clearly hear the audio, but there's a lot of static. So keep that in mind. It's right in the middle of the static. It's only a 3-second clip, so I'm going to let it loop a few times and just let you guys listen to it. I'm going to turn up the volume a bit so you guys can hear it. So it's right after the first knock that you'll hear, which I think is a water drip. Because that's another thing too, is because it had rained that day, there's a lot of water dripping everywhere, so it kind of throws everything off, so you have to take everything with a grain of salt. But it happens after that first drip, and then you'll hear like the and then it's done.
Oh yeah. It's super faint, but you can hear it.
I can't hear anything, actually.
I sent it. If you want to listen to it, it should be in the group chat too. I sent it there. Here, I'll send it again just so you can listen to it.
Is it in the drive?
It's not in the drive, but I'll send it in Facebook. Actually, I could upload it to the drive right now. Give me a second.
It's like barely there, but like the second or third time it played through, you could kind of hear it.
Yeah, it's definitely something that I had to. It should be on the drive now. It should be called Whisper Water Plant. But I'll play it a few more times just to see if anybody else heard it. If you guys at home heard it, tell me in the chat. Make me at least be validated that I'm not insane.
Also, with like any of the audio or video, if you all hear anything that we haven't addressed or said that we heard, either comment on the video or you can DM us on Instagram or however you want to reach out to us. Just let us know, because we're definitely still learning too. So we'd be happy to know what you all hear.
And that goes for anything. If you have tips, if you have questions, we're pretty active as far as responding to people on Instagram. I love it. Secretly, I enjoy having people just reach out and ask us questions about like why we do this, how we got into it, that kind of stuff. And same thing goes for evidence. If you have like really and if you have a piece of evidence from something that like you found like somewhere that you would want us to go to or something like that, just send it our way, because we'll just eat it up for sure. But I'll play this a couple more times. It's only 2 seconds, and then we'll go from there.
Definitely
a creepy one.
Did you hear? I can't actually hear anything in that one. No.
It's okay. It took me a while to find it, and then after that, I was like, I need to enhance it a significant amount to be able to figure this out.
Computer enhance.
Enhancing audio. I am not a production person as far as audio goes, so I can't do that very well. But after doing the water plant, I know Abby can't form an opinion on this one because she did not visit with us. But next time, I definitely want to go back. Like, I think that maybe it's not a place I would want to spend all night, for sure.
No.
but I definitely think I want to go back and maybe spend a little more time in some of the areas that we didn't spend, like the electrical room, and maybe go into the room if I can bring myself to climb over concrete. Go into the other room.
A lot.
Yeah, right. Gotta shed a few pounds for that one. But what do we think? Do we think it's if ghosts exist? Is this if spookies hang out there? Chris, what do we think?
I'm not convinced.
Haley?
I don't know. I mean, I think it's mostly just like the creepiness and of the like dilapidated building.
And it's in the middle of the woods.
Yeah, like I think it definitely could be haunted. I don't think I personally, because I know you all heard like the whispers and stuff there out in the hallway. I didn't really hear any of that. I think it could be haunted. I just don't know if it is necessarily.
That's fair. I think I'm kind of in a very similar boat that you're in. I don't if there's a building in Whitesburg that is like clearly haunted just by aesthetic,
yeah,
that's probably a good one.
Oh yeah, no, it is for sure the setting for a horror movie.
Oh, for sure.
I just don't know that it's haunted.
Right.
Yeah.
So definitely a place that I want to check out again. I might even, if I ever go home like alone or anything anytime in the near future, I might just be like, I might ride up there and see like what's going on. Obviously,
Spend the night, take some sleeping bag, a cot.
No, there's a bed there. I don't need a cot. Sorry,
You're right. There is a bed there.
A half-burned bed. There's a half-burned bed with a tiki torch next to it and a used unmentionable on the bed too. So yeah.
And a doll next to it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
When I think abandoned water plant, I think love.
Yeah.
Yep. So I guess now is a good time to we'll finish this up and wrap it with a preview of where we're going next, which we are going this upcoming Saturday. The Spencer County Spooky Squad will be taking on the Rose Opera House. The current Rose Opera House opened in 1941. It's been a building that is pretty famous in the city. It's located in Cynthiana, Kentucky. And Cynthiana, Kentucky is the birthplace of Robert Kirkman. And it has this really cool looking mural of The Walking Dead painted in his honor on the side of the building. If you want to check out some history of the building, it's on their website, and the About Us section will also be going over a lot more of that next week. So just wanted to give you a little bite-sized preview of where we're going. We'll be spending the entire night there with the four of us and possibly a guest. We're still waiting on that to be determined. But it'll be definitely an interesting time. I'm looking forward to it. And it's on Juneteenth.
Yeah.
Which this is actually I want to go ahead and talk about it because it's a neat little fact because we're going on that day. This is one of the last remaining buildings, specifically theaters, in the state that has its segregated seating section still in condition, and it wasn't torn down or removed from the building during any of its renovation or construction. So some energy there for sure.
Yep.
Yeah, especially maybe on Juneteenth.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, and I think we'll probably try to do like we did at the water plant for the last part of this investigation, and maybe do like some Instagram live videos while we're there. So if you all want to hop onto those, if you have any questions, anything you want us to ask, if you see anything, let us know, and we'll be over there.
And we will have a new piece of equipment to use while we are there. I'm so excited for it.
We will have 2 pieces of new equipment.
Yeah, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we have 2 night vision cameras now.
We do.
Yeah.
We have 2 night vision cameras. 3 technically, I guess. We have 2 night vision cameras and a laser grid.
Yeah.
Yes, and then also a REM pod.
4 pieces.
This is 4.
Woo! So much.
Definitely going to be a fun time.
We're building up an arsenal.
We're
Yeah.
gonna need so many more knockoff Pelican cases.
Yes.
But thanks, guys, for hanging out with us. It's been a blast. It's really cool to see a lot of people on hanging out with us and chatting it up. So we will see you guys next Sunday. And until next time, this has been Thomas and I'm pointing to the
Abby?
Haley.
Chris, stay spooky.
Stay spooky.
Spooky.